You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Shadow Show.
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 Shadow in it.
Shadow in it. Jessica's getting her lips painted.
Painted? That's not the term for that.
Sticked?
What is the verb? What is the...
I would just say, like, getting your lips done or putting lipstick on. Yeah. Painted that's a new one. Okay. I've never heard that.
Okay. Can you guys tell me how you would start the show if you were me? I don't know where to start.
Today's my birthday.
I would start with Josh Allen being the best quarterback that I've ever seen.
Oh, my God, he's so good. I mean, maybe the Dolphins and their consistent and forever mediocrity.
I don't ever want to talk about that team again.
Yeah, me either. I don't care about them, but... It feels like the place we're supposed to start with South Florida show.
I'd start with the TikTok ban.
That's big.
What?
I'm going through some things personally right now. And it's just that they're banning TikTok. I don't want to get up in the morning. The sun's not shining as bright. The birds are no longer chirping. They're trying to take away our precious TikTok.
I would start with the Pop-Tart Bowl as a real toaster this year.
That's so sick.
That's awesome. You have to plug it in? Or it's like on charge?
Plug it in,
I'll
it in.
investigate. I don't know if it's battery powered or not.
You guys haven't made fun of Mike yet for the Pop-Tart Bowl? You guys...
That's a very prestigious bowl.
It is a prestige bowl, Dan. Thank you, Lucy.
I think the name does plenty. The Pop-Tart Bowl. Like, you just can't feel good about that. Even if it's a prestigious bowl, you don't feel good about it.
I did it on social media, but I refused to add him because I'm scared.
We're all a little scared of him.
I'm actually interested, Lucy, in the TikTok addiction. You are officially so addicted that if they take this thing from you, it is a source of stimuli. They're unlike any other, right? Because it's just it's the more aggressive addiction than any of the social medias, is it not?
It definitely is. Now, I'm very sad about the TikTok ban happening, but I have a personal goal to watch all the TikToks ever made before they get rid of the app. So it's just scroll, 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 scroll. I feel like I'm losing a part of me, and it's really, really sad.
TikTok is just better than the other ones.
It
like you say, it's the
is.
most addicting. It's just the best.
Better. Oh my God.
It knows me. My TikTok knows me.
Yeah. There's this great trend right now, and it's of this Muppet, and it's singing. Yes, it's singing Like a Prayer by Madonna. It's just people talking about incredibly embarrassing things that have happened to them. And there's this one girl, and she was talking about she's olive oil girl, and she put an olive oil hair mask in, and then all the olive oil fell out, and she fell in the middle of the night and set off their security alarm, and her dad came out, and he was super, super pissed, and she was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. And then the security alarm went off, so she went back to bed, and then a bunch of the cops showed up, all because she did an olive oil hair mask.
And the water was out, Lucy, so she couldn't wash it out of her hair, and then she had to go to school with saran wrap on her head.
Rock and roll. You can't get that anywhere else.
The painted smile on Jessica's face as Lucy yammered.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
We are awaiting Billy and Stugotz, who are going to bomb in from God Bless Football, getting out a lot of content early because football gave us so much to talk about yesterday. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, what I'm about to say. But I'm a little bit ashamed that the feeling that swept over me yesterday was a combination of, oh my God, this is the coolest. 3 dudes have just straight up punched a football, just throwing punches on the field. They're knocking the football out. Oh, there's a couple of fat guy touchdowns. Isn't that delightful? And also a couple of guys dropping the ball right before the goal line, just giving away these touchdowns that all these people are fighting over while throwing punches. And in the middle of it, I'm like, Tua, don't run headfirst into anything. Tua, stop. It's not worth it. You're 6-7. We all see you're not that close. That team closer than you're close. Look out. Tua, be careful.
I love that character, whatever it is.
Well, tell me you didn't feel that. The announcers are doing it. Everyone's doing it. He runs in the open field. I hesitate to laugh about this because yesterday Grant Dubose is taken off the field in a stretcher and he's shirtless and he's taking his helmet off and you're horrified. And then let's go out to Jacksonville, where the Jets are in the red zone.
Where Mac Jones is doing a spin move and then the Riz face celebration.
Mac Jones is doing finger guns. What's going on?
Dan, that voice sounded like you doing an impression of Charlie Kravitz doing you.
Inception of impressions. Kravitz, can you guys get me the sound of that? He does a good whiny me.
What are we going to do about that, by the way? Someone needs to put their foot down. He's just being straight up disrespectful.
Well,
now.
we've got beef. We've got legitimate beef, so we'll get to that in a second. I just didn't want to be too publicly offended in a way that,
I'll be offended for you.
Okay, help me there.
Damn you, Charlie.
I need the protection.
It's really funny.
In the middle of all that yesterday, so I'm watching over here. Here's a 300-pound guy doing a backflip. Over here, here's a Patriot. He is pantomiming doing a fencing move while he gets a flag thrown at his feet because he just horse-collared, and none of it counts. And I'm watching like all this dance of these the violent giants enjoying Aaron Rodgers rushing for 45 yards, 6 carries for 45 yards, enjoying the football of it all. And in the middle of it, there are the Miami Dolphins having us argue in a 6-8 season about whether the interceptions were Tyreek Hill's fault or were they Tua's fault as another season falls by the wayside with a Jason Sanders missed extra point that now only makes me think of Billy. Do you know how funny it is that Jason Sanders exists as a guy who only makes all the field goals, all the 50-yarders, but misses extra points in a way that makes me think of you every time because you question him, even though he's great at everything but extra points?
I don't understand it because he really, can't kick extra points for some reason, which are like the gimmies, but he'll hit every single field goal. And the thing about him missing the extra points is it's just like a slow bleed where then you're playing and you're like, oh, now we need a 2-point conversion if we even get the touchdown, and then we're pressing and then they don't get the touchdown and they don't get it because every time he touches the ball he's throwing interceptions, but it's actually Tyreek Hill's fault if you believe what it is that the Dolphins fans say, because no one wants to blame Tua for anything, which I'm starting to catch on to. But you couldn't blame him yesterday. I mean, that's Tyreek Hill's fault. I mean, 2 hands on the ball. If 1 hand's on the ball, you have to make the catch. 2 hands on the ball. How do you have someone take it away? Tyreek Hill might be washed.
What? No.
What?
Maybe
he didn't say.
No.
Maybe they needed to trade him at the deadline and get anything you possibly can for him because he is not looking good right now.
Billy.
What?
Billy.
Hey, happy birthday.
Billy, you can't storm in here.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. That was very good. Hold on.
Happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
I'm not good at birthdays.
Successful deflection.
How do you be? How How does one be good at a birthday? Because if you got older, so I feel like you checked the 1 box.
Yeah. You understand why? Are you all good at birthdays? You all walk right into your birthdays and are just like, shower me?
I love praise, Sam.
I don't think there's a way to be good at birthdays. I think it's your birthday. You can cry if you want.
Just by showing up. You're not dead. I mean, that's it. Happy birthday to you, man.
You made it.
Yes. You're not dead. You're not dead.
You're not dead.
A wonderful, mortal, dark humor. Not yet, I'm not. You have not killed me yet by singing that instead of Happy Birthday, as you should have. Was there something planned for me? Because I got here a little late, and so I sort of ran through it, and Lewis threw a tepid Happy Birthday, and I thought maybe I missed what was supposed to.
What would you like planned for you, boss?
We just did it. I mean.
Billy, you cannot just storm in here after God Bless Football with Tyreek Hill is washed under your breath.
I didn't say that. I said happy birthday.
What were you guys doing over at God Bless Football? Were you doing that? Did you accuse Tyreek Hill of being washed over there? Because no one's doing that. No one yet has gotten to the trough of Dolphin football and quit so thoroughly on this season that you're already at Tyreek Hill is washed, and the newspaper columnists are writing, fire Chris Greer, which is not something, by the way, wait a minute, I haven't seen a lot of that in our market, where it's just like, I have not, in our market, the newspaper people saying, fire the guy who runs the Dolphins. That I know that's common for the day, and everyone does it in sports radio, and we've made that comment on television, but the local newspaper columnist writing, fire the power of the Dolphins, based off that game, is all shouting, blow it all up.
Well, yes, yeah, no, and we I mean, on this show, we fired Chris Greer about a month and a half ago, so welcome to the party, newspaper writer. Come on, get with the times. Dan, you asked what we did on God Bless Football about this game. So we play a game called We Good on God Bless Football. Spoiler alert, you can check that out today. And here's how We Good works. Basically give you the score of a game and just say, we good? Like, we don't need to talk about that game. That game was just like a nothing game because, like, there's so many football games, but some of them are not good games. It's like, we good? So I snuck the Dolphins game into we good because I just didn't want to talk about the Dolphins game because I didn't like how that went, and it didn't make me feel good. So I said, you know what? We good? Dolphins 12, Texans 20. We good?
Okay, let's talk about all of this.
No,
I wasn't good.
We said we good. We didn't talk about it earlier.
I don't want to talk about the Dolphins. I want you guys, if you'd like, to run me off of the Dolphins. You may, because there is plenty that I do want to talk about from yesterday. I did not know that the eye gouge could be so successful that Myles Garrett would react like that, where I was thinking that his eyeball was on the field, like on the movie Any Given Sunday.
Right.
Like if you tell me that is how Myles Garrett reacts to pain, when I know he's probably pretty perpetually in pain. So if that guy's in that kind of pain, what the hell does that kind of eye gouge feel like?
Flop.
Everyone has their weak area. Maybe that's just his weak area.
I was watching. Honestly, I thought he had a visor on his helmet, too. I was like, there's no way a finger got in there.
I think he came back on the field with a visor.
With a visor?
After.
I'm not certain there wasn't already a visor there. That was a flop if I've ever seen. He was acting like his eyeball fell out of his head and someone cut off his foot simultaneously. Like, how did that happen?
I do not believe he was faking it. How can you call Myles Garrett a flopping faker? How can you do that with a straight face?
I didn't say that.
You did say that.
I said happy birthday.
It's the only thing he said. I mean.
You continue to say things, careening in here from God Bless Football after doing We Good. I don't know if any game involving Jameis Winston you can skip past, because it's just so great to watch him do the sloppiest thing every time. And why would you throw that again, Jameis, into the end zone for an interception when we've basically eradicated that play from football? Everyone knows to get a field goal there. We are now shocked by all red zone turnovers, and Jameis is just like, I'm going to play like I did 4 years ago. I've learned nothing from 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, 5,000 yards. We went 7-9. They replaced me with Tom Brady. They immediately win the Super Bowl.
It's going to be a rough hard knocks for Jameis on Tuesday night. Getting benched at the end of that game for DTR. Season's over for the Browns.
Yep.
Has been for
over. Yes.
3 months?
Been over. Yes.
Week 1? Is that when it ended?
You say.
But it was entertaining for a minute, Billy. You can't pretend like it wasn't entertaining for the last 3
Jess,
weeks.
I like you as the person who declares when someone's season is officially over.
The Dolphins season ended week 2. Thursday
You know
night
what, Jessica? I am here for you being commissioner of that character, because I will tell you something. When she says when a season is actually over, I want to, as we now bury this Dolphin season, although they're still in the mix.
They are.
Colts schedule is easy down the road.
Hang on a second. What did Greg Cote call the Texans? Very, very good?
Far from, very far from being a good team, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what does that make the Dolphins then?
That's correct.
That's Tyreek Hill's fault, yeah.
Yes, Tyreek Hill might be washed.
Might be.
They're 14 games in on Blow It All Up. They are 6-8. And we have just lived over the last 2 months. Well, as soon as Tua got hurt, season's over. Beat the Rams. Rams are pretty good. We're going to get close in there. We're going to be close to 500. If Jessica wants to announce when the season's over, this is what I want to ask her. I'm watching the Giants yesterday, and I'm like, seriously? Boyle? Really? Tim Boyle.
I said the same thing.
No, but wait. So,
DeVito got hurt.
No, yes, we're in the portion of the proceedings of Giants football where they don't just bail on Daniel Jones, but that's right. Well, DeVito got hurt is where we are in the season. And so now Boyle's in the game. When was their season over? When was the Giants season over?
During offseason Hard Knocks when they got rid of Saquon. And Drew Lock, I think, was the emergency third-string quarterback, but they mentioned during the broadcast that he was in a walking boot all week. So if Tim Boyle...
He had a Thanksgiving, Drew Lock. Let's not pretend he didn't have a Thanksgiving Day game.
Put it on the poll. Did Drew Lock have a Thanksgiving?
My family did dinner during that game, Billy. I think America ate dinner during that game.
He got him right back in that thing. He made it competitive. It was the Cowboys, but got him competitive. Did you see Skylar Thompson got released also?
Jessica did not know what to do with your genuine enthusiasm about being able to spit. Drew Lock had a Thanksgiving.
It was 3 weeks ago.
It's the fact that Billy just careened into you there, Jessica, with genuine enthusiasm, wanting to talk Thanksgiving Drew Lock football. I appreciate why it is that would knock you off kilter. It's just so weird that all of a sudden, Billy cares deeply about football.
He did have one.
66% completion
percentage. Put it on the poll.
That's a Thanksgiving.
Let's not pretend Drew Lock didn't have a Thanksgiving. Yes
0
or no?
touchdowns, 1 interception. That rushing touchdown, though.
All right, Jessica, now I would be understanding if a Steeler fan came to me today and said, one game on the road, those are tough. We are still as good as Philadelphia. But that game right there is why I think Pittsburgh's not a real thing.
That's fine, but also George Pickens was out. Like, they also had a couple big-time injuries on defense. I think the thing with the Steelers all season is they're probably not as good as the Bills. They beat the Ravens, so I think you can say they can compete with the Ravens and beat them again, which they will play them this Sunday. But they have games like that. That was the most quintessential Pittsburgh Steelers road game where they were pretty flat in the first quarter. Then they started playing really well, had a chance to tie it late. Najee Harris fumbles it. They had 2 possessions in the second half of that game. That fumble was the game in the red zone, and that was it. They weren't able to score, and Philadelphia took a lead and then just ran out the clock.
That fumble was the game. They're down 17-10.
It was terrible.
And it's just a routine pitch, and the game falls apart for them.
But this is the problem. This is sort of the problem with the Steelers going to the trade deadline was they need another wide receiver. They got Mike Williams. He hasn't played a lot for them. He had one really great touchdown a few weeks ago in the first game that they had him for. But with Pickens out with the hamstring or whatever it is, the offense, they don't have that deep threat that is going to be a game changer for them. So it's tough for them to go downfield without him.
Well, when you say deep threat, I think, and I've erred in not getting to this before because I don't know how much Lucy cares about professional football, but I would think that anyone who cares about football, if I give them all of the information from the season and just sit them in front of the television set yesterday and say, watch this. Watch Buffalo play Detroit. This is the top of the sport. It's the best it can be done. And the single biggest surprise from that game is not to me that Buffalo won the game, Stugotz. It's oh, holy shit, I didn't know anybody could do that to the Detroit offensive line. I didn't know there was I thought Detroit was going to be able to run the football against Buffalo's defensive line. And now Ed Oliver's just knocking your center over and bothering you in the middle of the field. And all of a sudden, Goff looks like the guy. Oh, look, it's not Dan Campbell's just going to punch you in the face and all rhythm and stuff. And then this team's got a centaur, an MVP as their quarterback, and Buffalo can just gallop up and down the field on anybody in the sport.
Last 3 games, Josh Allen, 17 touchdowns, no turnovers, no sacks. That's incredible.
It's the best stretch of quarterback I've ever seen. And I know you're going to do the thing of getting caught up in the moment. You did it handful of years ago with Aaron Rodgers. What I'm seeing right now, I've never seen better than what Josh Allen is doing the last few weeks.
It's the thing that I see in his expertise that is really wonderful to see is darts all over the place to Kincaid, and then you've got these tight ends just catching the ball with one hand, and it's because they're wide open and he's a little less precise. We've got a whole history of him throwing the ball a little bit inaccurately.
Yes.
And so
I know.
And so there are sometimes he will miss a wide open guy, and you're like, oh, the arm's too big. And it's like, I'm now used to every damn throw is this surgically precise that sometimes Josh's arm is too big, and he just gallops to the right, throws it 40 yards downfield to a wide open tight end, and he might have thrown it a yard too far. It's going to require a one-handed catch because they're playing a different sport than everyone else is playing. And their defensive line wrecked an offensive line that I did not think could be wrecked like that. And Detroit scored 42 anyway.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike. And guess what? It's Miller time. The holiday season brings around lots of joy and also lots of family gatherings at your home. You're inviting people in there, and you want to make sure they're happy. Why don't you make their time at your place a Miller time? Pass around that beautiful white can of triple hops brewed Miller Lite and watch the smiles adorn those faces. Make Miller Lite the official drink, the official beverage of your holiday get-together. You know why? Because it is a perfect beer for the holiday season. You'll take a sip, you'll look around, and you'll think immediately, yeah, I made the right call. It's got taste that you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. Making memories at year-end gatherings? Tastes like Miller time. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan, and I'm super excited to talk to you about Rhone. This is a great company. I was introduced to them a couple of years ago. I thought everything that they made was super comfy and looked great, and now they're aboard, and I'm wearing one of their shirts right now, and I'm getting so many compliments on it. As seasons change, so should your wardrobe. Rhone's commuter collection combines comfort, versatility, and breathability with premium pants, shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers. Each piece is made from Rhone's signature stretch fabrics with wrinkle release and anti-odor technology, keeping you fresh and polished all day. With Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, enjoy more wears between washes, designed to coordinate effortlessly. And let us talk about the freshness, because this is a big one, especially living down here in South Florida for me. They make it easy with machine washability and collars that maintain their shape for life. I cannot tell you how huge that is. The Commuter Collection's wrinkle release technology works as hard as you do, making every piece perfectly packable for travel. The Commuter Collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/DLS and use a promo code DLS to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to Rhone.com/DLS. When you head to RHONE.com/DLS and use code DLS. It's time to embody your most confident self.
This holiday at T-Mobile, I'm joined by a special co-anchor.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop, if people are looking for great deals this season, where should they go?
Head to T-Mobile.com and get 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence on us, plus 4 lines for $25.
That's quite a deal, Snoop. Not to mention, at T-Mobile, you can save on every plan versus the other big guys.
Respect. Now drop that J.
See how you can save on wireless and streaming versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence available now.
Don Batard.
All right, we got to go back out there. That was big. Wake him up.
He doesn't want to be bothered anymore. Now it's getting tense because he didn't need that as a result. He needs something that happens.
You can see him mother effing on it. He says, "Can we bother? Yes. Are we bothering you right now?
Turn on your microphone, Greg."
My microphone's on. Stugotz.
Paint the scene.
The paint the scene is I got to go to work. Good night.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I do wonder when the Bills, and I agree with Chris, and I feel like it's Josh Allen's time, but they give up 30 points regularly, and the Chiefs never give up 30 points. The Chiefs haven't given up 30 points in a game in 35 games. Think about that for a second. I do wonder if the Bills have enough to get past the Chiefs, meaning The Chiefs are going to score on that Bills defense, right? I'm not certain how many points the Bills are going to score on that Chiefs defense.
I just can't believe we've lived long enough for the Mahomes offense. You already can see how Kansas City wins a game against Buffalo. They keep the ball all game with Mahomes running on 3rd and 4 for 5 yards. They do the 17-play drive. That's how you used to beat them years ago, Stugotz.
Yes.
Now they're the offense that needs the 17-play drive so that Josh Allen never gets on the field.
Why are you so convinced that the Chiefs are going to score on the Bills? Like, what confidence do you have in the Chiefs offense this year? Because, like, now we don't even know what's going on with Patrick Mahomes.
It's not so much the confidence I have in the Chiefs offense. It's the lack of confidence I have in the Bills defense. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Like, the Chiefs offense has not been great, and you're right, but the Bills defense also has not been great.
The thing about defense, Dan, is that it wins championships. So while this is fun for the Bills, it's going to be interesting to see if they can make a deep playoff run when they're giving up 40 points a game.
The weird thing about what the game does to the body that would make Billy whisper under his breath, Tyreek Hill is washed, and we've watched it. It's been amazing to watch what the Kansas City offense was when it ran through Tyreek Hill, and how the field keeps getting shrunk in a way that eats up the physical bodies of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, and they can't score 30 anymore. They used to be a team, it wasn't that long ago, Stugotz, I would have bet every game that they were going to score 30.
Yes.
They've done it against Carolina this year, and who else? One other team this year?
The Bucs.
The Bucs, and now Mahomes is limping, and now you want him to win a playoff game against Galloping Centaur of a guy.
They're going to. You know they're going to. They always do somehow. You know they're going to. I don't know how. I don't know why. You know they're going to. And you know Carson Wentz is going to play a role in one of these games, too.
Oh, yeah.
Not against this Josh Allen. Not this time. Not
really?
this time. Not if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, dude. This team is scary. Josh Allen, he's like smirking on the sideline. He has this confidence about him
like
right now.
He knows he's going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah.
His face, man.
Now, there are certain teams throughout NFL history.
Go on.
It just gives you something. It just makes you smile.
Better. You know it's their time. And I'm kind of with Chris here. It's Buffalo's time. I knew it in '86 with the Giants at Phil Simms. I knew it was their time. It was their time.
Hold
you
on.
knew it as well.
Last week you said that the Chiefs were going to stop Josh Allen from ever winning anything, and McDermott, he was never going to win with him, and it's because Patrick Mahomes is going to keep him from ever winning anything.
This guy is so good. I'm telling you, he has the ability to overcome his head coach.
Okay,
Wow.
Stugotz, I am not. Look, I know you want to get all your takes off, and I know you weren't listening at all to what it is that Billy tried to sneak in the shadows there.
I heard it.
The happy birthday?
No. Billy saying, I don't know what it is about Josh Allen's face, it just makes me want to smile, is a 180-degree reversal from where he was as a Dolphin fan when he was shouting and yelling, Josh Allen has a stupid face, and then I want to put up billboards in Buffalo, Josh Allen has a stupid face, and Billy doesn't want to do that. He befriends Josh Allen, and right now, the Bills are fertilizing the end of whatever the Dolphins were building to beat them. Like, they crushed the division before any other team, and as long as Josh Allen is healthy, he beats you every time that he plays you, and now he's blossoming into this thing that doesn't have turnovers, that is well protected, that his offensive line protects him, the no sacks thing, the no turnovers thing. It's kind of giant for how they play football.
By fertilizing, you mean they're pooping on it,
That's
right?
what I meant.
Okay, everyone was confused. I thought it was like a manure reference. You're a writer. Happy birthday.
Yeah, but thank you. Here's what happened was
You're not dead.
I had already forgotten. This is what happened. I'll be totally honest, totally vulnerable. Here on my 56th birthday as I get old. Chris Cote told me immediately before the show, please no cursing for some reason, or be judicious with it. And right out of the box, for some reason, I cursed. And then I now have that word echoing for the last 3 minutes back from when I said it. And now I did want to defecate there. And I wanted to say it, but I went fertilizer, and fertilizer grows stuff. And so I just got tangled up in the ways I was going to say that. Because, Billy, I got to be honest, right? Stugotz went straight into, I'm here for my Monday takes. I got so many of them. I just got an hour's worth on God Bless Football, but let me skid in here and get all my takes out here. And he just steamrolled Billy admitting that he has turned 180 on how he used to feel about Josh Allen.
I acknowledged it. I told him that's better. I mean, it is, right? We're trying to grow a relationship. Billy said to me, Dan, and I agree with him after we recorded God Bless Football, that the football season has been tough on our bodies.
So this is ridiculous.
I'm hurting.
I mean, it's a grind. 15 weeks in, it just don't feel the same.
All right, so you guys, I just want to be clear on.
My arm hurts.
All right, all right. I'd like to see if
I think I have a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I have this right. I just want to be clear. Are you telling me that what Meadowlark Media just produced with the award-winning God Bless Football was Stugotz and Billy, 15 weeks into 3 months of collision, saying their bodies hurt covering football because they have to keep driving into the studio to talk about football?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I honestly. I've been feeling it since Thanksgiving week, but I powered through. When Drew Lock's playing that Thanksgiving day and you're trying to convince yourself he had a good game, then you come in, then there's a Black Friday game, and then there's big Saturday games and Sunday night, and then Monday you're like, oh boy, this is wear and tear on my body I'm not sure I was used to.
If you don't think coming up with takes for Drew Lock, Dan, hurts your body, impacts your body, you don't know football.
Jessica, when was the Dolphin season over? We've talked. I mean, Chris, can we now? I mean, I've told Billy. I told him Green Bay is a show me something game. Houston's a show me something game. Beat somebody.
Whoa, no, you got Thursday night, Hard Rock. Tua gets hurt. That was when the season ended. I was there. It was so hot out. That's how long ago it was. It was still summertime, Dan. It was terrible.
How dumb are we all, by the way? Like, just us as like a football viewing public and just like a society where everyone was like, man, the Jets and the Dolphins, I don't know if the Bills are going to overcome any of this.
Okay, well,
that's how the season started.
Some of us were not on that wavelength before the season started.
Stephon Diggs leaving. I mean, this team may unravel.
Some of us knew that the Jet situation was going to be a disaster.
Jessica, I think you would be right to say that you and Lucy, but all of you really, have endured unendingly lopsided Miami football talk that ends again another season with, here we go. Look, we don't even get to the cold December games that they break your heart because they can't play in the cold this year.
Dan, it's the easiest lane in the world for me to be like, haha, all the Miami sports teams suck. They're all going to lose. Because every year, even when they look like maybe they'll be actually kind of decent and I'm going to be eating humble pie at the end of the season. No, something stupid happens. They lose to Syracuse or Tua gets hurt.
Jimmy Butler's going to play every game this year.
It's the easiest lane in the world for me to carve out because this city has so many stinker football teams. I'm sorry. I don't wish they were good. I actually do have personal animosity towards all of them.
You guys know there's only been 3 starting quarterbacks to win the AFC East this century, and it's Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and Chad Pennington.
I love that.
He did it for 2 teams, the Dolphins and the Jets.
Yes!
It's the only way they could win.
It is kind of amazing that we've lived years of Ryan Tannehill and years of Chris Greer, and that Buffalo team that went 17 years without making the playoffs is now running roughshod over the league because their quarterback, who I once thought was terrible and said would never be an NFL quarterback, because he was, again, I keep saying it because I don't think people understand how ridiculous it is. It was a playoff game against Houston. His fullback was double covered 40 yards downfield, and he threw an interception. I'm like, they don't play football like that anymore. The way that you're doing it, they don't. That's Jameis Winston. Aaron Rodgers developed a new way to play. You do not turn the ball over. Like, that's not. The Green Bay Packers have a ball meeting every week. Like, the whole sport is around, like, do not lose the football. And then there's 2 guys dropping it yesterday before the end zone and 3 guys punching it out. Because what we're watching is ridiculous. It is so violent that, again, I skip past Dubose because we're all horrified, right? Or are you less horrified because it's not one of the guys that you've heard of or one of the guys?
Oh, I was horrified. I mean, that was tough to watch, all of it. Yeah, seeing the players. Whenever you have the 2 teams and they're praying together, yeah, that was an ugly situation. Everyone had to be horrified by that.
But before you guys came in here, I was working on the character of horrified football fan who's watching Tua dive headfirst in the open field. Because you cannot tell me Billy, that we're not watching him differently than we are every single other player who's playing football on Saturdays and Sundays. That there is no player you are watching football and yelling, "What are you doing? Don't dive head first into anybody."
He had that pick six. He got out of the way. You saw that.
He
right?
did do that,
Yes,
yeah. Because here's the thing about Tua: when he goes on scrambles and he dive head first, you're like, man, this guy is just never going to learn. He's never going to learn until he throws the pick six, and you're like, look, he learned. I mean, it didn't end up being a pick six. They stopped it, but still, you're like, he learned. Look, he didn't go and try to throw his head into someone's knee for some reason.
That was a big play by
Progress.
Achane at the time for hustling back and getting him down before he scored a touchdown. But Tua was the closest guy and clearly wanted nothing to do with it.
Can I ask you a question about the injury real quick? Just because I was wondering, and I think that, and this is like a horrible admission, but I feel like we all kind of feel this, right? When the injury happens. So you see both teams are there and everybody's praying, and then they do like the crowd shots because they don't want to show the injury over and over again. And like the crowd is like initially concerned, and then they're like, what else do we show? This is taking like a long time. We're like 12 minutes into this game stoppage. We don't know what to show. So they keep showing like the crowd shots. And as like every time they go and they show the crowd quickly transforms from like really concerned to like then like antsy to then like annoyed to then like, get this guy the F off the field. I want to watch more football and hopefully no one else gets hurt. And then they keep showing them like, guys, pick it up. We got to get this game going again. Like, you lose the crowd very quickly on these, and you can see it as the crowd shots keep going back to the fans.
Billy, there is such a cool thing that you just reminded me of yesterday that I'd forgotten about because Scott Hansen is great in the middle of all of this. His energy level for 7 hours, it's hard to keep it where he keeps it, given the intensity of everybody's excited about everything that's going on. Like we are, when Lucy says she's addicted to TikTok, what Sundays are just sort of an overriding flow of stimulus because you've just got so much action, gambling action and other action on things that are happening all over the field.
Hansen's body has to be hurting.
Oh, my God.
Scott Hansen yesterday is doing calls, and he's getting excited because as he's talking about, and as we go out to Baltimore, Mark Andrews could set the record for Ravens touchdowns with a catch here, and then it happens as he's throwing it to that. And so he meets that moment with giddiness that he just got at that game and called the play that was the record-breaking play while stopping and going to other games. But he stopped dead in his tracks while calling highlights when he was seeing for the first time the footage of somebody, a bare torso being stretchered out, immobilized. He stopped in the frenzy of sprinting on the broadcasting treadmill of going from game to game, being excited about everything because he's in the middle of like this torrent of American Sunday action, like dancing on piano keys broadcasting because people are complaining on that channel, Stugotz. We're so addicted. I see them. A commercial snuck in there. I saw a commercial sneak in from some other game.
They were on the split screen, and one of the games went to commercial, and they kept the sound on the commercial for like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is happening around here?
I like it when it happens because then I'm like, Scott Hansen, you're not better than me.
You think Scott Hansen gets the Saturday scaries? Ooh. Like before his big work day?
That's a good question, Chris.
Even though it's a fun job a lot of people would want, it's stressful.
Work day is the key word. Ooh. Day. I mean,
I think he does other things throughout the week for NFL Network.
Huh?
RedZone does have ads now. They do have like ad things that they'll put up on the screen.
Yep.
It's not ad free anymore.
Yeah.
I think people are just learning that, though, from what I can see in terms of what's happening on the internet and commentary. People like complaining about things with their broadcasts, and we've gotten to a place in streaming that we want the stuff all undistilled. You can't give people no commercials and then give them commercials once we get used to no commercials because... And by the way, all of this exists for the commercials. A problematic position for the streaming companies because they're going to need to put commercials in so that we can all afford all the things we're fighting over. Because
they do. They've just started that where in the last few years, all of a sudden it was you were paying one price and you didn't have commercials. And then it's, hey, if you don't want commercials, now you have to double the price. Yeah. And if you pay the same price, well, you're going to get commercials now. And all of us went, okay, well, how much can I afford? And then it's 7 different streaming services.
Right. And they're not doing it because they need the money. They're doing it because they can. Because they know you're going to pay and they can make ad revenue from it. One thing that I discovered on Googling facts about the Super Bowl this year. Did you guys know this is Super Bowl LIX, Super Bowl LIX?
Wow.
Licking it.
Super Bowl LIX. In New Orleans.
I did
We
not
haven't
know
discussed
that.
that yet.
How do we get this off the ground? I'm just noticing this for the first time. One of the Super Bowls.
Super Bowl LIX.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like when Super Bowl Live was in Miami, and everyone was like, "We're gonna go to Live after Super Bowl Live." What do you do after Super Bowl LIX in New Orleans?
You're right.
There is a whole ad campaign that we can do around that. Scott Hansen got so comfortable yesterday that Stugotz, in that Colts-Broncos game, which shouldn't be any way interesting because neither of those teams are going anywhere.
Whoa.
Fine. Get into the playoffs, you will win nothing.
Whoa.
Get those teams both out of my life.
Wow. I think Denver's pretty good. Anyway, go ahead.
I do too, but not quite good enough. And yesterday they won because Jonathan Taylor is dropping the ball before the goal line. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. There's no way this is still happening in this league. There's no way that people fight this hard for the touchdowns and then can't still hold it for another half yard. How is that possible that Jonathan Taylor has to get to the preening? In the middle of that game, one of the things that changed is, holy shit, the Colts are doing some sort of fancy razzle-dazzle where they throw it back to Richardson and it's picked off. And Hansen yells, because Nick Benito's is the one who had a pick six there, and he jumps into the end zone by the goal line like Marshawn Lynch, grabbing his balls, and Scott Hansen says, you can't grab the Benitos. That's a penalty. That's going to be a penalty. I didn't know that grabbing the Benitos was a penalty. Is it now a penalty?
It's a penalty, yeah.
Always? Because I've seen that done at the goal line just as much as I've seen guys drop the ball at the half-yard line.
So the refs got together, and you could see them smiling and laughing because he's like, hey, how do I deliver this this penalty? But it's a penalty. How do I say it to the crowd? And they settled on something. It was funny, though, to see them laughing about it.
Inappropriate gesture?
Yeah, something
So
like
again, for history's purposes, Marshawn Lynch breaks the biggest run, most violent run in the history of the sport. Breaks 11 tackles, runs through the end zone, and we all agreed at the point when he dives backwards and grabs his balls. Yeah, you deserve that. You should have done it. Enjoy yourself.
Yep.
You did. You ran through 11 people. And since then, people have copycatted it. I just didn't know it had become a legitimate NFL jurisdiction
You can't do
penalty.
anything sexual. Even though they're going to name the Super Bowl LIX, you can't do anything sexual when you celebrate.
Yeah.
It would be funny to see the ref do the personal foul, and then he mimics what he did.
Did you guys see the ref this weekend do the salute to the military before the unnecessary roughness penalty?
What was the reasoning for that? What was the backstory on that?
He just did it, and then he pointed. It was like an
It's what you do.
unnecessary roughness on a kickoff or something, and then pointed to the wrong team and the wrong side. So he made this big deal to salute, and it was so funny because all the comments were like, "Well, it's Army Navy." No, it wasn't. That was not the Army Navy game.
Lucy, you sat out. I don't know why you did. Billy and Stugotz saying aggressively that 15 weeks into the NFL
I was so
season,
mad.
their bodies hurt because they've been on the couch.
So mad.
It does hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
But Lucy has been on planes she has not been home very much. She is flying a lot.
16 straight weeks. I try to abide by the if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. And I had some very not nice things to say.
Right.
I'm so tired. Get over it.
Lucy, we did 2 plane trips. We did. And a trip to Dolphin Mall, which really, I think that's where it started for
And
me.
3 if you count opening kickoff.
Wait,
so.
Lucy does God bless with you guys too on Mondays.
I do.
So she does
Yep.
all her traveling
I have
and
to get up
God
early.
bless.
And
Sometimes
I
it's
have to
from
fly to the
Zoom, though,
Charlotte
so.
airport to the Miami airport. 2 awful airports. And I live an hour and a half from the airport. So I have to drive an hour and a half to the worst airport ever to fly to the other worst airport ever. And guess what? I fly American, and they never have live TV on the planes. They never do. And sometimes they don't even have Wi-Fi on the planes. You can't even watch a movie.
Dolphin Mall.
But
counts
you're
as a flight.
tired. So am I.
Wow, you really ran Jessica off the road there with your rage.
I'm not mad at her. You're lovely, Jessica. Please continue.
Lucy, I miss you.
I miss you.
Sad.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike. And guess what? It's Miller time. The holiday season brings around lots of joy and also lots of family gatherings at your home. You're inviting people in there and you want to make sure they're happy. Why don't you make their time at your place a Miller time? Pass around that beautiful white can of triple hops brewed Miller Lite and watch the smiles adorn those faces. Make Miller Lite the official drink, the official beverage of your holiday get-together. You know why? Because it is a perfect beer for the holiday season. You'll take a sip, you'll look around, and you'll think immediately, yeah, I made the right call. It's got taste that you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. Making memories at year-end gatherings? Tastes like Miller time! Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like going to work on Thursday morning and thinking to yourself, just one more day until Friday. But then somebody walks into the elevator and says, Happy Friday! Then you check your phone quickly and discover today is actually Friday. So yes, happy Friday, random stranger in the elevator. Happy Friday indeed. Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.